watching InfiniteSpaceLink episode 5. So in today's video, we're going to be going over exoplanets, specifically what are exoplanets, how are exoplanets detected, and areas to discover revolving around exoplanets. And then we're going to be going over some mistakes I made in middle school that you do not want to repeat, and then we're going to be going over how to find a good career. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and now we'll get on with the video. So what are exoplanets? So to clear this up, for anyone who doesn't know the exact definition already, or is just interested in having a recap, a planet is a celestial body that orbits a star, is mainly spherical, and has a strong enough gravitational field to clear its orbital path of debris that's in it. So it's the only thing going around in its orbital path. So then a solar system is a star and a set of celestial bodies, or multiple stars and a set of celestial bodies bound to a star by gravity. Some of the other celestial bodies could include planets, moons, comets, meteoroids, etc., etc. So then ultimately an exoplanet is a planet outside of our solar system. So Jupiter is not an exoplanet because it's in our solar system. So what are the methods for detecting exoplanets? The three main methods are the Doppler method, the transit method, and literally just imaging. Okay, so we'll start off by going over the Doppler method. So the Doppler effect is when a star gets closer to us, and then light waves are compressed, and when further light waves expand. So when they compress, this is called the blue shift, and when they expand, this is called the red shift. So when a planet orbits a star, it still has small gravitational effects on it, causing the star to go in a small orbit. So spectrometers can be used to collect this light, right, emitted or reflected by exoplanets, and therefore detect this motion. This allows for the calculating of the mass of exoplanets and ultimately, what's most important, the detection of their existence. So now we'll go over the transit method. So when an exoplanet looks like it's passing directly in front of its star from our view, it dims the star's brightness, and this part is called the transit. Stars can be monitored over time. Dims in brightness over regular intervals tell us the size of the exoplanet or in the orbital period. During transit, starlight passes through the exoplanet's atmosphere, telling us the properties of the exoplanet's atmosphere. Imaging is how you'd probably think it is, simply capturing a picture of what could potentially be an exoplanet and then examining it closely for confirmation. Some key tools involved in imaging in terms of focusing on the planets by blocking off starlight include coronagraphs and star shades. Coronagraphs are used in telescopes and star shades are put in space. And yes, as I said, they're to block off the starlight so you can focus on the planet without getting it confused for other stuff. Imaging, however, can often be challenging due to a lack in light because they're typically quite far. So exoplanets have opened up a wide field of study. Some new areas of discovery could include exomoons. While none have been confirmed, there are possible candidates that have been discovered, such as Kepler 1625b1, and then exoplanets with rings. A notable example would be J1407b with a ring system about 200 times larger than Saturn's ring system. And then exoplanets with water. These have indeed been discovered, with an example being Kepler 138c. Okay, so here are mistakes that I made in middle school that you do not want to repeat. And I will warn you, this is going to be a long session, but please bear with me. So 1, doing homework during lunch. This would be bad in terms of doing it right before class, and even when this was a case of just doing it early. When doing it right before class, you can probably understand why. Sometimes you won't have enough time to complete it efficiently, and procrastination can obviously easily lead to a lack of work being completed and tends to be worse for your mental health. And yes, I can confirm this was definitely my case. When I waited until last hours to complete like an example, while this wasn't related to middle school, for procrastination in general, when I waited until the last couple of hours to submit an application for a program, a lot of it kept like glitching out, and that was extremely stressful, and I ended up submitting it like 5 minutes before the priority deadline. When doing a lot of homework during lunch to get it done early, unless it was something like really easy, often wasn't worth it when they were more complex assignments, because the limited time was already distracting me, messing up my efficiency. Also, in general, lunch should be like genuinely a time for socializing. Like, you certainly don't need 45 minutes to eat enough, and studies have shown that taking a break after a good amount of work completed genuinely does improve efficiency. So then, too, for not studying, this should be obvious, but I'll explain why anyway. While middle school grades are not as directly important in most cases, well, like in my case, seventh grade grades were looked at for potential high school applications. So, like, anyway, like, what's important is the habits you build to get decent grades, so you'll have them when you start high school, when your literal grades quite literally do matter. So when I got into a habit of studying, I was amazed of how much my grades improved, and started to want them to be as high as possible. I really don't find this worth it, because realistically, colleges don't care that much if you get like a 95 or a 100 in a class. They really just focus on extracurriculars. Like, if they see that you have good academic ability, which really only needs to be emphasized with like a 5 or so AP or college courses, and maybe like a 1530 plus or 35 plus SAT or ACT score respectively, and like a 93 simple average, then you're fine in terms of academics. Don't put it don't put in all that extra effort just to get like a tiny grade raise. Instead, as in the previous point, try to focus on extracurriculars. Like, you're probably not, I mean, wait, no, in the next point, try to focus on extracurriculars. Like, you're probably not going to be learning information already discovered by others for a living, and you want to figure out what you're interested in, so you'll have a good idea of the extracurriculars to focus on in high school. You'll probably have a lot more time in middle school to do this in high school anyway. So then, like, yeah, this goes with self-studying academical subjects. Like, while getting a good grade by self-study is arguably pretty easy, genuinely understanding the material, such as being able to put it in terms of problem solving, is more effective in classrooms, because you'll have a wide variety of ways to comprehend material. And anyway, colleges are more interested in your skills that schools don't have to offer, rather than just learning things that people will be expected to learn in high school or college. So, how to choose your career? I mean this quite literally. Do something you care about and find fun. Being passionate about something encourages one to work harder at it and become successful. Pretty much all throughout middle school, except for like the second half of eighth grade, I thought I wanted to work in finance just because I heard you can make a lot of money from it. I constantly stressed about making a lot of money when reached adulthood. When I stopped caring about getting the absolute highest score possible on like exams and stuff, I soon after stopped caring about making as much money as possible, and I realized I genuinely should try to enjoy life. And for most people, I would think their career would be a big part of their lives, so you may as well try to have fun with it. Like, I'm very interested in space, and I like making stuff, so that's mainly why I went for aerospace engineering, and I hope you can find something that you're passionate about as well. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next week.